Hello everyone. Today we are going to work on a live application development, which is a multiple choice question exam. This application is to design or to facilitate multiple choice question exam uh, online. So it will have a set of questions, and each question will have options for the answers, multiple options for the answers. And among those, whoever is appearing for the test has to give the correct answer, and that answer will be recorded. And based on whether the entered answer is correct or wrong, final score for the test will be decided. Okay, this is the high level overview of the application. So at the center, you can see the multiple choice question exam application. And to this application, the input is the question file in text format. Now, this question file contains the question as well as the answer. And the output of this application is the recorded answer file and the score for the test. Now, the answer file is not available for the end user. It is available to the administrator only. But the score will be produced at the end of the test, so that user can know how much is scored in this test. These are the typical sequence of steps that will be followed. So first step, open a file containing multiple choice questions. As I mentioned earlier, file has answers to all the questions. Second, get a count of number of questions. Now we need to decide on a character that denotes the end of the question. We'll discuss how we can decide on this. Third step, decide the maximum time allocated for the test. So if there are 10 questions, each question has 2 minutes allocated, then the total time for the test would be 20 minutes. Next, application will prompt user to enter his or her name. Then application will create an answer file with the entered name as a file name. And now the application will start. It will enter into a loop controlled by a count of number of questions. Now, before start of each question, the application will notify user about the remaining time. And for each question, it will print the question on the console and wait for user to submit an answer. These two steps are repeated until all the questions are completed. And at the end of the loop, once all questions are attempted, produce the result of the test on console. So this is again, this is I would say we have not gone into each detail of each step. So once we start writing the application program, we'll get to know about what all things we need to consider. So these steps are we can consider as a guideline or pointers for us to start writing the application. Okay. So I'll share the programming IDE window. The IDE that I'm using for writing this application is devcpp. This you can download from Google and get it installed. So here I'll open a project, empty project C, MCQ exam. Okay, save. I'll rename this file as main.c. So let's start writing the main.c file. In the header, we need to write the name of the application and a few details. So application name, online test, and this is the description. The application is developed for giving exam based on multiple choice questions. Requirements. This application requires a text document which would contain questions as well as answers, and the format of questions is to be followed strictly. So we'll include the stdio.h file. We'll start writing the main function. So this is the start of the application message on the console. Online exam will be printed. So we'll open the question file in read mode, and so fopen is the C library function that returns a file pointer. This pointer is of type file. We'll initialize the pointer value to null, and we'll see if fopen is successfully executed. So if it opens file successfully, then the file pointer will contain a valid address other than null. So this check is for that. If it is valid, then we are entering into uh, the if statement, and so we are running a loop until end of this file is reached. And each iteration we are reading the character in the file, okay, through this file pointer into this variable, and this variable at every iteration we are checking if it has reached the end of file. Now in this so what we are why we are doing this is basically we want to know how many number of questions are there in the question file. So for that we are doing this exercise. Okay. So we'll check for the end of question character in the file, and that will so we'll basically count how many such characters are present. So each occurrence will denote basically each question will end with this particular character, so that it becomes easier for us to may count the number of questions. So if the character is end of character, then we will like increment the number of questions count. But before proceeding, we need to make a decision on what that character can be. So this is the character that we can make a decision on. So dollar is the character that we have decided that will be part of the question, end of question file. Okay. So I'll open the sample question file. Okay. So this is the sample question file. as you can see. So it has some code and app options, then followed by, so each question, at the end of each question is the correct answer. So each answer is followed by the dollar symbol. Okay, now why I have chosen dollar is because this is a C multiple choice question exam. So in C, there is never use the dollar symbol anywhere. Rest of the symbols or special characters are used. So there is another option is about or at. This could be another option which we in C we do not use it. So I had two options. Out of these two, I have chosen the dollar symbol. So this, so when, so here, let's go back to this loop. So in this loop, what is happening is it will read each character of this file right from the beginning and until it reaches here, dollar. So this is the check. If file character is dollar, then so it has reached here now. Okay. So here, basically, we are going to increment the number of questions here, right? Number of questions, we will initialize it to unsigned character is equal to 0. So it is initialized to 0 and we will increment the number of questions once we get this question end character. Now at the end of this loop, we will, so we'll continue this operation. At the end of this loop, we will close the file. Okay, once we reach end of the file, and we will message user that number of questions are these many, maximum time allocated is time per question is, we'll decide it here. So we'll make it 2 minutes. So maximum time allocated is 2 minutes multiplied by number of questions. And we'll close this bracket. Okay. What is change to Control Z, Z. Okay. Okay. So now we will run this part, this much part of code before we proceed further. Okay. To validate the logic that we have written is correct. Okay. I will remove the extension. Let us see, because I have copied the text file, compile and run. Compile log. What is the error? Expected identifier, line number 10. stdio.h. Okay, this was missing. Undeclared C file char. Okay, this is of type character equal to 0. What else? Let us compile and run. Okay, file open read mode. So this we have to define a macro. So we will define both the macros at the same time for read mode as well as write mode, so that you can use the subsequent in the next part. Okay, so online exam process executed with return value 0, press any key to continue. What happened? I think it will let us print the else part. I think it did not open the file successfully. Okay. Failure file open. Okay, why it is failing? Okay, the question file name. Let us now mention the text, sorry, extension of this file as well. And let us see. Oops, oops. F11 is the, okay. So now it opened the file successfully in the right directory. Okay, let us open the question file here and just search for this character. Uh, what we can do is, okay, we have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's it. Okay. The 20 questions. So this is all okay. Okay. And the maximum time allocated is also we are getting as 40 minutes. So till now we are good. Mm, okay. Now what we will do is, so we have written this part of the code in the main function. Uh, we will move this part into a function, dedicated function, because we don't want this to be part of this uh, part of the main function. Okay. So I'll basically write a function, static function, get number of questions. Okay. And I'll paste it here for now, and we'll decide what to pass to this function. I would say will not pass anything because the macro, the file name is defined in the macro, and there is nothing else needed for this function as an input. And this function returns unsigned character. So this function returns the number of questions. So I'll also move this part here. So this is the variable it returns. Return number of questions. And we will call this function here now. And Okay, we'll declare this variable here locally. Okay, and maybe that's fine. So for debugging, maybe we will print this message, printf number of questions is percent d slash n end. Okay, f11. Okay, so what happened? Number of questions do not print. Save it, save it, and f11 conflicts implicit declaration of what happened. Get number. Okay, this function we to declare at the top before main function. Okay, and f11 number of questions is incorrect. Why this is wrong? Oh, we didn't pass the variable name here. F11. Okay, fine. All good. So come back to now main function. So we have reduced the main function. So always remember, don't keep main function too much lengthy. Keep it concise and small so that it becomes easier to read. Okay, so we have got number of questions. Now next step is prompt user to enter the name. Okay, so I'll delete this part. We don't need this now. This is tested and validated. The next part is ask user name. Okay, so you can simple message here, enter your name followed by getS function, which will get the string username, and username I'll define it as a character array of characters. Okay, let's do this. I'll print this username after user enters it. Username is percentage slash n. Okay. Now for getS, let us see, it might throw an error of the for the required header file. Oh no, wait. I'll put my name Rahul. Username is garbage value. Okay, again I forgot this class. Save. Okay, great. So this part is clear now. Again, now we have this is tested. So what we can do is we will move this part into a function. Okay, get username. Hold on, let me paste it here. I'll write this as ask username. Okay, so okay, now what we are going to do with the username? We are going to create a file with the username. So what we will do here is, okay. So now the answer file name we want to decide. Cannot be simply username, but username followed by some some characters like answer.text. For example, so this is what I would do. So username here followed by underscore and answer.text. This sounds perfect. And now to get this, mm, I need to have, so we need to concatenate this basically. The user entered string with this string and store it in some variable, which is again a character array, but that should be accessible to multiple functions. So for that, we will do, we will declare one static global variable, C answer file name with character maximum size as 32. Okay, so here I will use this to concatenate basically strcat and sorry, username first followed the by the answer file, this name. So my answer file should be Rahul underscore answer dot text, right? So, so that is the reason I'm calling string concatenation function in this way. First, I'm calling it with this, so I'm attaching this string with this particular name string first, and then followed by this string. Okay, so anything, let us compile this code and see if we are getting expected behavior or not. So what we will do in the main function, we need to call this and print this basically. Printf user answer file name is percent %s slash n. Okay, and we'll call this function ask user name. Okay, no arguments. We need to declare this function at the before main followed by semicolon F11 string cat. Okay, C username. So C username is what? Okay, this also we need to value, copy, cut, paste from here to there. And string cat. For string cat, we need to include a header file std sorry string.h. Control home. Okay, save F11. Enter your name. Okay, answer file is missed it. What is the answer file? This is the answer file name. Okay, F11. Answer file is round.txt. Perfect. So this part is done. So I'll delete this printf statement as it is validated. So next step is now enter into a loop controlled by a count of questions. Okay. In the main function now, we are going to start the exam. Okay. So how we can start it? So in the main function, we will write this part. Loop until end of file is reached, not end of file. Loop until all questions are completed. Okay. And here I'll complete the while loop. Oops. This is the number of question left. Okay. Now this variable, we will initialize it to number of questions. Okay. And number of questions is again of type unsigned character, initial value as 0. Okay, so this is done, and in the loop we will decrement this and printf number of questions left. So this is just for debugging. Now when we enter into question file, what we need to do is we need to read the question file until wait, but think there's one step we missed. That is, we have to open the question file here, right? So get number of questions is here. Mm, okay, so we will open a question file. So we declare same variable in the main and open this. I'll reuse this part of code and so everything will be now inside this. So file will remain open until the exam is ongoing. Okay. And in the else part, I will just print if there is any issue in file opening a file. Failure file open /n end. Okay. So I hope you are clear till this. Questions left is I will declare it here because I don't want to the scope of this variable is inside this loop only. It may not be accessible or it's not valid out of this block basically. So question file is open in read mode, and here we are. A question number of questions left. We are here. Questions character question and character we know dollar, and if we encounter this, okay, uh, what we need to do is, but before that, before this character is encountered, whatever we are reading, we need to print it on the screen. Okay, so we have opened the file, we are inside the file now, and questions left, and okay, there is some issue with this now. So what we are doing here is we are opening a file and now running a loop inside it. Okay, that is fine. The data pointer is the variable which is basically okay, got it. Now here else. Okay, so else what we are going to do is printf %c data pointer. Basically, this is not going to be a data pointer. It is going to be a simple character that is read by, so similar to this get c. Okay, so here we need to run one more loop actually. Loop until end of file character is reached. And inside that, we are running this. No, but this will be, so we are reading a character from the file here. And in the, what is, I think we have already written that. No, 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 no. This is wrong function. Okay, come here. Inside this, number of questions left is here. And here we need to run a loop. Okay, so what we can do is instead of running two while loops, we will run only one while loop, and we will have another question condition as until of either whether question numbers left returns 0, and this is, or basically either of this is true, then we are inside the for loop. Now we will cut paste this, sorry, cut paste this here, and okay, we are remove this. So what condition we have written is until number of questions left is non-zero or file end of character is not reached. So we'll continue looping this. Okay. And every character we will just print it. So file character instead of data pointer, we'll write it here. And so as soon as question end is reached, uh, what we are going to prompt user is for answer. Okay, so we need to prompt user for the answer. Okay, so here it is. So KB hit. Okay, so KB hit is a function again, C library function, which will be used to detect the key hit because we are running inside a loop. And so this particular API is used to uh, detect the key on the keypad. And once the key is detected, it will come inside and it will wait on this function called getCH until it is until user presses any key, then it will come out of this get edge. It's a blocking call basically, getCH. And I think that's it. So this is for the question. So we'll now we need to store this answer somewhere, right? Here are we going to store the answer? So we have already opened the file, answer file, okay? And in that we will store this answer. So for storing this answer, so we need to also open this answer file pointer. Okay. And this we need to open at the beginning. At the beginning, somewhere once user enters his name. So this is if null is equal to answer. So if there is failure in opening the answer file, then we need to uh, basically return from here printf failure in opening answer file slash n end, and we need to basically return from the application. No need to proceed further because it's a fatal error. So this now, if this is successful, then this will remain open until end of the application. So before return, we can mark this close as this. Sorry. Okay, we are closing the file pointer, answer file pointer, and I believe same thing we are doing it for the question file as well. So question file also in the if part only, here at this location we need to close it. Okay, so ensure that file pointers are closed. And so here we are now. So we are writing here pointer, the question number followed by the answer. Okay. Now question sequence. Basically here we need to not worry. What we need to do here is the number of questions. Uh, questions minus number of questions left. Okay. So this is what we are going to write here, and this part we will bring it in the beginning of this if statement so that it is deducted And so question number one, so the answer file will be written something like this. So 10 minus 9, which is 1. So answer to first question is this answer, and that is what we are writing in the file. I believe this is good. Let me compile this code and see if we are getting what we missed here. C file character undeclared, line number 28, 28, oh, no, no, line number 59. 59 is here. So C file character, let us declare here character equal to 0. Answer, okay, if answer file pointer is undeclared, so we will declare it here as file star equal to null. So what else? Answer is undeclared. Answer is a character. Again, it is local to this loop, I would say. So character answer equal to 0. Okay, now let's compile this code. Okay, enter the name. What is happening here? It is remaining in the loop, infinite loop. We miss something now. Let us check what is happening. Number of questions here. Oh, it is not even printing the character. Okay, it is remaining in the loop. Now, while it is remaining in the loop, it comes here, which is not true. Then, as far it should print me at least this much. This thing, printf. His name is Rahul. But sorry, what is this? His name is Rahul, but get this cleared. The answer file name is also, we have got it. Acha, acha. Answer file, I think. Let me check if answer file is created or not. Yes, answer file is also created. I can see that. Now, mode right is also correct. There is no failure in opening answer file. It is still in the loop. Why it is not proceeding further? So here question file is open and there is no failure in opening question file as well. Questions left is equal to number of questions. Number of questions we have got it here, which is 10, 20. Then this is okay. While number of questions left is non-zero, or character, this is not. I'll put one more bracket. Okay. Let me terminate this. No, that's not an issue. Mm, Okay, let me write this thing first. I will remove this part. I'll simply read the question file. Hash if zero. This is while loop, right? So while loop here ends, end if hash if zero. This is while loop. Okay. So what I'll do simply here is I will run this loop for file character and one more. What is happening here? I need one more bracket. Okay, sorry, extra wake. Perfect. And I'll simply print whatever I'm reading in this from this file. I think this part we missed to validate, so we jumped directly F11. Okay, so fine. So it is at least able to read me the question file. Okay, this part is okay. Now, where is the issue? While this condition is something creating issue of question number of question left. Make it and it should not make any impact. If file character is end character is else no, then clear and clear. One. Okay, perfect. Now what it has done, at least it has gone further. Number of question left, number of question left, number of question left. Okay, so here it is just slipped over. It has asked the question without prompting user the input for the answer. Okay, then okay, left number of question left is here. We need to pass the number. Then what is missed in the output was it was not prompting user for the input, user input, right? So okay, so basically for this part we have to have a while one infinite loop until the key is hit. Okay, it has to, so the application expects user to provide some input to the question as an answer and come here, and in the KB hit we are breaking out of this loop. So what we have done is, so because it is running in loop, it does not wait for user to provide input. So for that we have explicitly written an infinite loop. And so once question character is encountered, so the next part is user has to provide answer. So for that you have to wait. And now user, because user cannot answer, uh, it will take at least 2-3 minutes to answer that question. So until that time, it has to wait here. So that is why we need this while one loop. And until in the while one loop, until as soon as the key is hit, it will come here and it will then proceed or process the answer. Let us compile and run this code. Okay, perfect. Now after asking question one, it is waiting here now. Okay. Now suppose I am answering one question answer as A, and the number of questions left is again, it is not giving me any. Same thing it is here, waiting for answer B, C, D, E, 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 E. Let me answer this all the questions. Okay, let me open the answer file. Here it is. This project documents, C project answer. So this is how the answers are recorded. One first answer A, second answer to the second question B, C, like this. Okay. So okay, so we are good with this. Now let's go back. So what is happening is the user is entering answer in small letters, and so here now at least okay, it is prompting user answer, and then we are recording the answer. That is fine. But now we need to validate the answer. Okay, and so for that we need to write a code to validate the answer, and this based on the user input we need to decide whether this answer is correct or incorrect. Okay, so in this, so once you come out of this loop, okay, here we need to validate this part. Okay, so there is one more variable introduced, marks. Marks we will initialize it to 0, unsigned character, marks are 0. Okay, now this has become a bit complicated. We need to somehow break this main function into smaller functions. Let us see. So first we'll reach this part and then we will break this function into smaller ones. So answer lowercase. Now we learned this lowercase macro in previous sessions, what it is, how and how we can use this macro. So I'll just define this macro at the top. Okay. And so answer and file character. So file character is here, and I need to move the, okay, fine. So now we are at the dollar symbol. Okay, now it is followed by the answer character. Now to get that answer character, we need to explicitly uh, call this. Okay, and so that it does not miss this part. Okay, and so here we are implementing the character marks. And if the answer is correct, then we are printing that as a right in the file, answer file. Else we are printing it as a wrong. Okay. Now, okay, I believe, let us comment this out. This is not required. F11. A is the answer. A. Perfect. So this is how the answer file looks like. So I have answered all the questions, option A. And here I'm seeing the result. Right, wrong, but it missed our first question. Why is that happening? Mhm. Let me flush the inputs. In case if there is any residual characters, but this should not have any impact. Let us try if it resolves. Yes. A, A. Okay, so first question, it is still not recording the answer. For all subsequent questions, it is recording the answer. What is happening here? Okay, let me add one more line here at the end of this before I close answer file. Marks obtained are this, so that we'll know at least how many marks are obtained by the user. Number of marks are 5 out of 20. So still this is an issue. Let me see what is the issue and fix it. Hmm. So I think we need to check whether the answer character entered is valid. Okay. And so for that, we will write one small function. The static is answer valid. So this is ensuring that a user is entering all the characters between A and E only, because there are only these possible options. There are no other options available, and user is required to answer any one among these only. So here, when user enters the answer, so I'm validating whether user has like entered the correct character or not. Okay, need to declare this function. Top. True is undeclared. So true is defined where stdlib. No, true is, it is not recognizing. Hold on, let me define true. True and false macros. It's whatever. A. Yes, perfect. So this solved our problem. Okay, so this is how our answer file looks like. And so we are now towards end of this application. But one thing we missed out on is on the time part. Okay. So what we decided is in the beginning, each question will have 2 minutes of time. So total time for this exam is 2 multiplied by the number of questions. So time part we have not yet implemented. So for that, before it let us divide or reduce this main function. What I can do here is, okay, this is not required. I'll remove this part. This macro not required. This is also not required. So how I can reduce this function is, mm, can write a function like process uh, exam, something like that, and pass the number of questions left by reference and the file pointer as well. Okay, and at the end of this, which is here, we are closing outside of this while loop, we are closing the file pointer. That is fine. So entire this part we can move now to a function. Okay. Control X, copy paste. I will use this name, process exam. Rather entire, I'll copy this entire part. Okay, no wide, and close the break bracket here. Here, what I'll do is, okay, indentation is correct, correct. Okay. So here, this is a pointer variable. Questions left PTR, unsigned character star, and this is file star. Okay, Q file PTR. So I'll use this Q file PTR everywhere. Okay, there is one more pointer we need. Its file pointer is answer. Okay, so let us complete this part now. Answer file pointer is also required. So we need to pass it. Where is it? Here it is. Pass it here. File pointer answer file PTR and use it here. Okay. Anything else we left? We can call this a static function because we are not going to call this anywhere else in the project. Okay, and anything else we left? We reduce the length of main function quite drastically. Marks. Okay, marks. We are writing it here. So what we will do is um, we will write the marks at the end of this while loop. Okay, inside this function, so that for the variable marks we need not Now again pass it as a variable. Marks we will declare it here inside the static function. Okay. Number of questions. Okay, number of questions is another parameter that we might need to pass. Hmm, this is questions left. Okay, left PTR. I think have it here star. Want to decrement the pointer variable. So I believe this we do not pass it by reference because we are nowhere using it in this function anymore. So better pass it as a ref by value only, and let us keep it simple. Questions left. So this is decrement by one, and again here left is okay. For this, I need not pass this again. So what I'll do is I'll maintain the counter inside count question count better way, and I will declare it here and initialize it to 1, and every time I'll increment it. Let us run this code. Process exam. Okay, I think we are not passing pointer anymore. So it's just a value we are passing. Answer file, answer file pointer. Okay, we have declared a different name. We'll use that name here. Number of questions again we need to. Okay, so maybe you can simply question count as number of questions. Okay, you see marks. Marks is okay, that is there. Question count is undeclared. What is it? Question count. Okay, I have declared it here. I'll declare it outside while loop. Undeclared C file character. Yes, we need this character. Now here we can remove from here. Number of questions left. This also we don't want need. You can simply pass number of questions. Okay, this is also not required. Okay, and that's it. This one is yes. Okay, wait. Oops, what happened? Okay, perfect. So here we are. Answer file is created, and that's fine. So we are in good shape. So now coming back to the timing part. So we need to, because this is time bound exam, so we need to keep track of the time as well. Okay. So how we can do that? So for that, we need to record the time at the start of the exam, and then compare. And we also need to calculate the end time based on the current time. Okay. So let us first read the current time. Where we can do that is inside this is exam. 1 minute. Okay. So before entering into the loop, we will get the current time, and this is the API or C library function time with null as input will give me the current time in the number of seconds. Or let us print this, what value we get of this printf. Current time is percent unsigned long slash n start time. Okay. Okay. For now, for the simplicity, I'll comment out this part because we are now only concerned with the time. I'll just comment out this part so that until we finalize the logic on the timing part. Okay. So let us now open file. What happened? Okay. Current time is this. Okay. This is something not readable. That is fine. So that is basically number of seconds from the epoch time. So calculate max, how we can calculate maximum time is from this value is this. This is how we can calculate it. So end time is equal to start time plus 60 into time per question, which is 2 minutes. 2 minutes multiplied by 60 is 120 seconds. And it is multiplied by number of questions. Okay, so those many seconds. Start time plus this is your end time. and let us calculate the end time here, or let us print the end time. Percent LU, and also let us print the difference, and difference should be the minutes basically. Let me write it here: end time minus start time, and diff as percent LU. Control save, run. Number of question undeclared. Okay, why we need this? It is same as questions left. End time, end time we need to declare as again unsigned long 0 11. Okay, so okay, let's not focus on this part. Let's focus on the difference part. 2400, which is 120 multiplied by 20 questions. So this is correct. Perfect. We are on right track now. So this is, I'll comment, remove this part because we have validated this now. And end time is okay. So what we need to do, how we decided on the logic part is before start of each question, notify user about the remaining time. Okay, how we can notify user about the remaining time. Mm, so in this function where we can notify user about the remaining time. So every iteration it should throw this message that remaining time is this. Once it reaches here, I think this is the place where we can no, but what we are saying is before start of each question, correct? So this is the start of question, and this is the right place to notify user about the remaining time. Now, for remaining time, what we are doing is we are getting current time, okay, and we are checking if current time is greater than end time. If it is true, then we are calling this as elapsed. Hold on, this is not required here, so we will wait, that is also correct. So yes, that is fine. Fine. So this is one part. So user will be prompted. If this is true, then the user will be prompted that time is elapsed. So we'll check another case for time elapsed is this one. So after answering the question, so if user is taking so much of time to answer one question, or it has exhausted entire time in answering only one question, then once he answer that question, after we come out of this loop, we'll check whether this is the case. I mean, if current time is greater than end time, which is time elapsed case, then we'll break out of this outer loop as well. Okay. And in that case, I believe we should message this, right? So what we can do here is before exiting from here, we need to read the current time and check if this is true, then come out of the loop. But definitely not without messaging. We have to message user that why the exam is terminated. because time is elapsed. Okay, now this is repeating. We'll think of converting this part into a function because same thing we are repeating here as well as here. So I will just remove this part. Control X, Control X, and write a function time lapse message. So void. Let us see whether it's a void or we need to pass anything. Okay, so we need to pass end time to this unsigned long end time, and current time we are getting it here locally. So we'll declare a local variable unsigned long as with data type unsigned long current time. We'll declare this function now. This will call it as static function. Control C, our main function. Okay, fine. So we'll call this function in place of these statements. Then we'll pass the end time, which is here calculated here to, as an input to this function. Okay. Fine. So this is done. Now we are just checking whether time is elapsed, but we need to inform user that how much time is left. Okay. So we need to basically do this in the before we ask user, or once user completes the current question. Here we can do this. If number of questions left, now question left is here. Now why are we deducting it? I think we don't need to have this. Number of question left is non-zero, then questions remained is this one. End time minus current time divide by 60. Divide by 60 is my time remained. That is minutes. These many minutes. And percent second. Okay, for calculating second, I am doing this using this model operator. So minutes and how many seconds are left. For that, I'm doing this calculation. And I'm messaging this after a user answers every question so that he knows how much time is left and how many questions are also left to answer. Mhm. Okay, so I think this also can be removed, but let us run this part of code. A break statement not within a loop or switch. Okay, we should not be breaking here. Then there should be breaking. Okay, then in that case, we need to return true. Return true if we are breaking. Okay, here. And if we are not breaking, then don't return true, return false. We have written these macros on the top. So it will have unsigned character. So this is changed. We need to update the declaration above. Time elapsed. Time elapsed is returning me if true is equal to time elapsed, then break. Break. Same thing here. Okay, compile. Okay, as the file is open, that's why it is prompting this message. What has happened here is it did not go, so it is breaking. If it is true, if current time is greater than end time, then we are breaking out of the loop. Otherwise, we are not time elapsed. So there was no message on time elapse. So this is also not the case. Then what has happened here? Oh. Okay, we are disabled this code. Let us. No, but it didn't print me the end time. Okay, we have disabled. Fine. Let us enable this code. We missed to enable this code. Remove this. Now compile and run. Yes. Okay. Okay. So re-enter answer. So there is some issue happened here. Why it is prompting for re-entering the answer? Again, it has skipped the first question. So what exactly happened with the first question? Okay, let me run it again. At the end of the question, now before asking the next question, it is now giving me this information. Question remained 19, time elapsed 40 minutes 0 seconds. That is correct. So this is what we want. Now let us wait for some time because it should come down to some value. Uh, Now second part it is not updating. So there is some issue with this because it should update the second part at least. Uh, no, it is only updating the questions remain, but time it is not updating. Okay, so for that, what we need to do is current time. We need for reading current time, we need to get the value of current time like this. Okay, inside questions left. This will solve the problem. Let us come out of this. 11. Yes. Okay, now it is perfect. 39 minutes 56 seconds. So what was happening is we did not get the updated time, current time, and we were operating on the current time that we read at the beginning of it. That is the reason why it was not updating, and now it is updating correctly. Okay, perfect. It is updating. Yes. So this is my answer file. Okay. So we are towards the end of this application. Before that, let us take a look at our main function, how it looks like. In the main function, we are starting with this message. Now getting number of questions, asking username, opening a file, answer file, and opening the question file as well. And after that, we are starting processing for the exam. And at the end, we are closing the file, both the files. Now in the process exam, we are getting the current time and calculating the max time. Then here we are looping until end of file is reached, or uh, the number of questions. I think this alone should be enough. End of file. Question left, we can remove this check because this is unnecessary. The end of file is enough. Then answer. Okay. If character read matches, so we are checking if the question that we are asking user is printed and it is end of the question. Then we are deducting the number of questions and then checking whether time elapsed is not elapsed basically. And then we are asking, waiting for user input, and we are validating user input and simply putting it here, writing it into the file. And we are checking the answer, whether it is right or wrong here. Okay, so we are reading another character which is followed by the dollar character, which is end of question. And we are reading this answer here. Okay, and we are comparing it with whatever user input answer versus the actual answer in the file. And based on that, we are deciding to increment the marks and message in the answer file as a right or wrong. And then based on number of, so if questions left is true, then we are just calling this current time and printing number of questions remained and time remained as well. So I'll just remove this part. This is not required. And at the end, we are printing this message. Marks obtained are this. Again, this is may or may not be required. It's up to the administrator whether he wants user to know how much marks user has secured. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed this. And so maybe, so next step, we can do what enhancements we can do to this application is, because this is question file, and this question file has the answers as well. So enhancement that we can do to this application is we can get the question file encrypted, and then pass that encrypted file to this application. Now this application should know the key of decryption, so that it can read the data after decrypting the file. So that is one part. So for encryption, we need to have a separate application. Output of that will be input to that application is the text file. And once we run that encryption algorithm, the output will be encrypted file. And that encrypted file will be input to this application. In this application, it will decrypt the file first, and then it will follow the same set of sequence that it is currently doing. Next enhancement that we can do is the questions that are being asked to user are in a particular order, same order basically. So if two candidates are sitting side by side, so they will be prompted same question every time, or rather first questions. So both the candidates will have same first question. Okay. What we can add an intelligence in this is we can randomize uh, the sequence of questions. Okay. So first question could be the last question. So basically we'll run a random algorithm on the set of questions. Now we know 20 questions are there. We will just randomize the sequence. And now trick here is, after you randomize the sequence, how will you cannot get it in the file. So you need to have an array of characters for each question. Okay. And after randomizing the all the questions, we need to have the array, basically array of strings uh, maintained in your code, in your application, and you'll read that array of strings every time you ask the set of question, next question, subsequent question. Now this is bit difficult to understand at this moment of time, but I think once we implement that, it will be clear. Okay, so for now we'll stop here, and so this is the simple application we have written, but here we have used almost most of the C concepts that we learned till now. Okay, and this is how you can write approach any C application or solving any problem, or break down it into steps, and then start with the main function, and then whenever main function becomes very big, you please write a function and move that part of code into a function so that the main function looks yeah, like readable, and it is not too lengthy. Okay. Okay, so that's all. Thank you for your time. See you soon. Bye.